Welcome back. This is your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso on SABC3, still broadcasting across the land. And right now we're broadcasting those Feel Good green fingers all across the land. Our resident it's a permaculturist. Permaculturist Ben Getz from Urban Harvest is here to teach us a bit about gardening. And I can't believe how our garden has grown. It's actually looking pretty good, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And so last week we spoke about using earthworm tea as a form of fertilizing your garden. It's very, very good. It's very organic and natural. But we're discovering new ways that you can make your own home brews at home, right?
Absolutely.
So what exactly are we looking at today?
Well, we've got a stock standard set over here. This one's called Comfrey. This one's Yarrow.
Yes.
And this one's Tansy. As you've said, earthworm tea is a good way of feeding the garden, but you can make free liquid fertilizer for your garden using plants from the garden, and these are your stock standards, as I've said: Comfrey, Yarrow and Tansy. And if we take these and put them like this, we can put them in a barrel of water.
All right.
Literally like that.
That's just plain water, no extra additives to it, nothing.
That's it. It can be a bucket or a barrel with water.
Yes.
Literally just harvest the leaves from your plants, obviously without killing the plant. So take as much as you can without damaging the plant. You can tear it up, you don't even have to. And you just leave it in there. In summer, you can leave it in for 7 to 10 days. In winter, somewhere between 10 and 14. It can be even a bit longer.
Yeah.
As soon as these have decomposed and the liquid has become a little bit
gooey,
smelly.
Like your hands.
Yeah. I'm joking. So as soon as it's decomposed and it's smelly, then that's the liquid fertilizer is ready to put onto the garden.
Yes.
You can spray it on or pour it on directly onto the garden.
Would you say using this kind of fertilization system is better than using, like, let's say, the more advanced stuff, like with chemical stuff, if you will?
Oh, that's a big discussion, but the basic answer is absolutely. For one thing, this doesn't cost anything. For another thing, it's sustainable because it's coming straight out of the garden, so it keeps reproducing the plants, producing new leaves every week. You can harvest new leaves, make new fertilizer and put it on. But there's there's a much bigger issue around whether if you're wanting to eat your food and you want it to be organic, you've got to use organic fertilizer, not chemical fertilizer.
Exactly.
That's
so we've got a kettle of boiling water over here. I'm not exactly sure what you're going to do with it, but please show us.
Okay, so on the one hand, you've got fertilizer to feed the garden. On the other hand, people obviously often have problem with pests in the garden. So you can use certain plants from the garden to help keep away pests.
Oh, okay.
So feeding and then also pest repelling. We've got, here we've got perennial basil.
Perennial basil.
Right.
Would this be the same kind of basil that you use to cook with?
You can cook with that, absolutely. That is the basil that you eat, but perennial, it's slightly tougher, slightly more bitter, but a lot stronger, and it keeps producing throughout the year. That's why it's called perennial, versus your sweet basil, which is more regularly used for your culinary uses and the salads. So perennial basil...
Definitely coming through. I mean, I've just held it for 2 seconds and my fingers smell like perennial basil.
Definitely, strong smells. This one's also got a strong smell. What does that smell like?
Whoa!
Wild garlic.
Yeah, okay, there we go.
Also known as tulbachia.
Tulbachia.
And this one is Umhlonyana in Xhosa.
Umhlonyana.
In Afrikaans, it's wilde els, and in English, I think it's called wild wormwood. So a combination of wilde els, wild garlic, and perennial basil steeped in hot water. So you just pour straight from your kettle hot water, let it sit overnight until it's cooled, and the next day, that very pungent smell, strong smell, it will actually help to keep bacterial and fungal issues out of the plants as well.
The smell coming from here is very powerful. Tell me, other than using it as a tea like this, or letting it brew like this, would it help to plant these kind of plants next to your other plants in order to use that as some kind of
That's a brilliant question. Absolutely. These are all very good companion plants. We've discussed on previous segments companion planting. These are great companion plants. In permaculture, we call them dynamic accumulators. So they actually help to build the soil where they're growing. They're companion plants. In other words, the plants can grow around them and be very happy. And then again, they're brilliant for making fertilizer, pesticide, and even for activating compost.
Yeah, I just want everyone to see this at home. This amazing brew of organic mixture is just amazing. The smell,
Strong
I think
smell, yeah.
you know this will keep all of the pests out of your garden, and of course good for your gardening as well, for your soil. Plant them like companion planting, like you said.
Exactly.
Plant them next to your plant, and hopefully you'll have a green garden like ours that's looking very, very healthy indeed. Sir, thank you very much. Always appreciate
Great
it.
pleasure.
Man, now my hands are going to smell like paint. It's all green fingers. But speaking of companions, two sisters, the Williams sisters rather, are going to be here in South Africa in a couple of weeks, and we're exploring all of their talents, talking about different kind of tennis skills. And I hear a bit of a ping pong competition going on there. Graham and Leanne have something going on. What's up, guys?